Hi everybody. Hope the previous video had given you an insight of what should be the philosophy of ECCE today and why is it important. This video intends to detail the forms of ECCE and who provides it, with emphasis on the legal frameworks that has been established by the government to monitor the functioning of ECCE centers. Moreover, the gaps to be filled for effective implementation of the framed policies would also be discussed. The first issue is, how do ECCE programs exist? ECCE program is organized in a variety of forms in formal, non-formal and informal settings such as home-based childcare programs wherein the home is the institution there. Second is community-based programs which combines health, nutrition and early stimulation for children of early years. Then the third one is the formal preschools, or what we call it as kindergartens. The fourth is a school readiness program facilitating a smooth transition to primary school. After looking into how are the ECCE being provided, we should now be very clear of who are providing such education system. Realizing the need to meet the demands for early childhood care and education, public and private and non-governmental organizations had come up with the 4 forms of ECCE programs. The first one is government organizations. The Ministry of Women and Child Development plays a pivotal role in ECCE activities in India. Through Integrated Child Development Services, initiated in the year 1975, India has been providing free of charge service in areas of health, nutrition and education to children in rural areas, slums and underdeveloped areas through Anganwadis, that is the courtyard shelter. It was also found that 38 million children were benefited through ICDS in 2011. Based on the research evidence, Indian government has taken initiatives to foster the smooth transition from preschool to elementary schools by means of relocating Anganwadi centers close to elementary schools, adoption of the same schedule at both the levels. However, the lacunae that had to be filled is that though ICDS is meant for 0 to 6-year-old children, the children less than 3 years miss most of the services and that it does not provide sufficient educational content. The second provider are the non-governmental organizations. NGOs are established and run by individuals, trusts, religious organizations and corporates. They also had initiated ECCE programs as part of their social responsibility. As per reliable estimates provided by the government, 3 to 20 million children are benefited by the ECCE programs offered by the NGOs. Pratham is one of the NGOs that is considered to be a professional ECCE organization which works across 12 states in India. Then comes the private educational institutions. With an enormous increase in household income, the number of private schools had a dramatic increase. The government has also estimated that about 10 million children partake in ECCE program run by private institutions. Almost majority of these institutions cater to the elite and the middle class families. Some of the private preschool franchises include Eurokids and Kidsy. However, the major lacunae of that the government so far has not streamlined or put up regulations to control the mushrooming of such preschools. Hence, the curricula, education quality and teachers' qualification were dealt as per the needs of the administrator, overloading the needs of the children. Now, after realizing the loopholes of implementation and governance aspect, some of the initiatives were made by the Government of India towards early learning. The first is that to ensure education for all, Indian government enacted the RTE Act or the Right to Education Act in the year 2010, with a view to prepare children above the age of 3 years for basic education and to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. However, the government should make arrangement to provide free preschool education. The second is that in 2012, Ministry of Women and Child Development proposed a National Early Childhood Care and Education Policy, along with the National Early Childhood Education Curriculum, and derived certain quality standards for early childhood care and education to improve the quality and accessibility of ECCE and to regularize and monitor the functioning of various ECCE programs provided at multiple levels. The idea was set up by National ECCE Council as an apex body to guide and supervise ECCE programs through 3 ways. One is establishment of state-level policy and legal framework for effective implementation. Formulate license registration system and set up management standards. Third one is by strengthening the monitoring, research and evaluation and teacher training functions. However, moving forward, careful observation is needed to see how these policies develop the ECCE framework across India. What are the challenges faced as of today in ECCE? The Government of India, though had realized and recognized the importance of ECCE, the challenges of its effective implementation remains because of certain issues. The first most important issue is regarding the debate of ownership of ECCE. The administrative shift of ECCE from the Department of Education within Ministry of Human Resource Development to Ministry of Women, Child and Development has diluted the education component of ECCE in India. The second challenge is that the gap what is being prescribed and what is practiced. There happens to be a gap as no strict monitoring mechanisms were implemented to evaluate the outcome of ECCE program. A wide range of overburdened private preschool curriculum seen as a prelude of primary curriculum to a profoundly diluted public program with mere rhymes and song session exists even today. The third issue is that the lack of standard qualifications and training input of ECCE providers and facilitators. So far, no standard specification or qualification requirement has been given by the government for the teachers as well as the providers of ECCE. The knowledge of child development, its principles, theoretical underpinnings are something that any teacher or provider of ECCE should be aware of, but ignored by the policymakers. The next issue is about the low wages and low status of ECCE teachers or caregivers. The stereotypic image of the teachers or caretakers as babysitters or as watching children leads to high turnover rate and unsustainability in this domain. The last but very important issue to be addressed is lack of a system of registration and accreditation. A minimum quality standard framework that is at present at the draft level has to be implemented as early as possible with specific strict regulations. Hope the module on ECCE in India, covered by 3 videos, serves as an eye-opener for you in comprehending the concept of early childhood care and education and its philosophy by gaining insights into the historical perspectives and the contributions of educationists towards the importance of early learning. Moreover, this module on the whole had also vividly stated the importance of early learning and how it serves as a precursor for further learning and productive adulthood. The knowledge on the role of the governmental and private sector in augmenting the implementation of ECCE in India would have given you an insight into comprehending the problems and challenges faced by ECCE providers. The next module on the principles of growth and development and the interrelatedness of the domains of development would elaborate on the significance of early care and education. Thank you as of now. Meet you again. Bye.